Okay. That's right. We are live. We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gergen, the beautiful.
Classy Lady Sparkle.
She's definitely. I need to talk a little one more again.
Classy Lady
Sparkle. There she goes. Let me give her a round of applause for that. We got Lady Esther in the building. She ain't ready yet. She ain't ready yet.
She ain't been here.
Yeah, she ain't ready yet. So we let. What happened? What mic you want? Because we want to make sure that we get you right. What mic you want? Yes, 4. All right. Let me say. Come again. Let me see your song.
I said, I'm ready to talk about what's around your neck.
I know, yeah, because you already know. Bird gang.
We was partying last week.
Yeah, we was partying last week. We was having a good old time. And so it don't stop, can't stop, won't stop. Super excited about those birds, man. Give them a round of applause for those birds.
They deserve it.
Yeah, they definitely deserve it. You know what I heard, though, that really pissed me off, right? So, the Chiefs, right? So apparently, it's something going around that it's a script that they already know that they're going to win.
The Chiefs know that
well, not the Chiefs know they're going to win, but it's like something that it wasn't supposed to come out, but apparently the Chiefs going to win. So they're going to be down first, right? But then the last quarter, they want to somehow come and win. Whatever is, I don't care about him, but he's supposed to announce that he's going to get married. He's going to be hurt first. But then he's going to feel better, make this speech during halftime, right? The halftime thing, make this big old speech, and then they're going to win at the end. He's going to help them win the game.
And you know all of this because why?
Because I heard somebody talking about it online. I don't know. But the way that they've been, like, the refs been cheating, I don't put it past them.
Yeah.
I don't.
They
put
always
it past
do
them.
that for the Chiefs.
Yeah. They cheating. They cheating. You know. So
Oh,
bird gang, right? And so we already know that if Philly lose again and it's close,
They not losing.
yeah, we're not losing. But Philly gonna lose their stuff. We
yeah.
gonna lose it. We're gonna totally
Yeah.
lose it. Cause we know that we can beat them. And we lost last time because of this fake call. And so they have been constantly giving the Chiefs the fake call all the time, right? And so we got to do something better about that. We just got to do something better about that, you know. But I'm super excited about the day. Oh, not that one. I'm super excited about the day. Round of applause because we got a dynamic show. We got 2 dynamic interviews that I'm super excited about, right?
Yeah.
We got good news and bad news, right? You got something to talk about, Lady S. Dot? You gonna say a little something today?
I got a lot to say. I ain't been here in like 2-3 weeks.
I know, right? Let's give a round of applause for Lady S. Dot for being here. But real quick, before we go into good news and bad news, why don't y'all let me know how was your day? How was your day?
My day was all right. I don't know if y'all know this, but I always like wear protective styles. So now I'm trying to grow my hair out, and this is like the worst stage when you in between. So I just did like a little roller set and stuff. But other than that,
I think it looks cute.
Thank you, Lady S. Dot. Other than that, my day was it was pretty good. Before I came in tonight, though, my neighbor called, Sparkle, you see what's outside? I said, what? She was like, come out here. She saw a drone over top of our houses.
Oh, yeah.
So she was like, see, it's just sitting. And I said it was a drone. She said it was a spaceship. She was like, that's a spaceship. It's too big to be a drone. So I don't know. But other than that.
And you in Jersey.
Yeah,
so that's where they've been seeing a lot of them. Man.
Yeah. With first they was telling us they didn't know what it was, and now everybody's saying that it was approved and
yeah. So the government, your president released a statement pretty much saying that these were drones.
Right.
It's nothing fake about it. It was just drones, and the government didn't want y'all to know, but he's letting everyone know. So simple. That's kind of like what was the conversation.
Right.
From my
for now.
Yeah, for now.
But in 2050, it'll be the truth.
Yeah, right.
It'll be the truth.
Right. What's up with you, Lady S. Dot?
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Tired.
Listen,
You do a lot.
Let me explain something to y'all. Your girl just had a birthday, another one.
Yes.
I don't know why they keep coming.
Happy Yes. That means you still
got all
living.
this stuff lined up. Well, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, I'm going to do Let me explain something to y'all. I'm tired. My body can't do all that partying every day. This after the next day, 3 days in a row. Listen, I'm tapped out. It's over for me.
She said, I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm at the age now where You know what you want to do on your birthday? Relax.
That's right.
What party you going to? Everybody was thinking, what you doing? I'm asleep.
They want
what
you to
I wanna
come
do
out and
today.
party.
I'll be so hyped in the beginning of the week, and then as it get closer, I don't know, it's something to just turn and be
I'm
like,
tired. And on a Thursday, so I started on a Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday. And today, I'm like, listen, everything just running into each other. So, yeah. So today, I had an event this morning, and then I left there. I was looking at the time. I was like, how much time I got to sleep before I go to work? That's where I'm at with it now. You be counting down. I got 3 hours. That's how when you go to bed. You go to bed late. You like, if I go to sleep now, I got counting down.
yeah.
That's where I'm at.
4 hours.
I got 4 hours. Then you don't go to sleep. Now you're like, dang, I'm down. That's what happened to me last night. And I had to be up early. So I'm struggling coming off of the birthday high and grind. So I'm trying to get
That's a
back into the
blessing.
swing of things. But I just need one. I just need one day. I'm gonna try to take that day tomorrow. Maybe
Chill on Sunday.
it's probably gonna be Monday.
Okay.
But I'm getting there.
She said, I'm getting there.
I'm getting there. Because tomorrow, church and meetings, and then I ain't watching no football tomorrow. I might watch y'all next week.
You might.
You might.
Stop.
Now, you know I control this mic, right?
I know you do.
I'm just saying. I'm
Stop
just
playing.
saying. Hey, you know.
What's up with you, C?
Everything is good. Everything is good. You know what? While I'm, since we're on that, let me just pull this up real quick. I'm gonna just make this quick announcement. I'll call it we can call it a PSA, because we're not doing a call to action. But what I am going to say is that this Tuesday is going to be a dynamic event, February 4th, that I am hosting. I am hosting. It has to be a fabulous event from 6 to 9. The Blue Jacket Fashion and Viewing Party, and so. This is something for Zero Prostate Cancer. So it's a nonprofit. It's a organization, a charity who raise awareness for prostate cancer, right? And it's going to be Tuesday, February 4th, 2025 from 6 to 9 at Bacon. That's on 1148 South 11th Street, Philadelphia, PA, 19147. And when I tell you that this event is amazing, is dynamic, is a great event. I was cussed out last year because it was pretty much only standing room only, and they had to shut the doors, right? So they like, why didn't you tell? Look, I'm telling you now, I'm telling you early, because this is not a big space. They're going to do, because the who's who will definitely be in the house. And so what they do is a viewing party. They do a viewing party first from New York Fashion Week, or this fashion event, for the Blue Jacket runway show, right? And so they do the fashion show, and all of the who's who are there. All of the celebrities are there. Everyone that you can imagine is usually there. Men representing and showing love for prostate cancer awareness, right? And so I will be there hosting the event, doing what I do, and so that's a dope event. So this is something to look up with. Make sure you stay in contact with FGI Philly. Shout out to the organization FGI Philadelphia. If you want to know more about this event, to know what's going down, where it's at, and all that good stuff, go to Fashion Group International Philadelphia, Fashion Group Philly, and you can find out all that you want to know. So yeah, that's what I had to do. Everybody was calling me about that, making sure, you
gotta wear blue?
Yeah, gotta wear blue.
Okay.
Gotta wear blue. Something blue. Your jacket, blazer, dress, something blue. Prostate awareness, right? And one of the things that we don't do as men, right, is amplify some of the issues that we have that we need support in, right? And so we're one of those lost voices when we talk about support. We support the sisters, right? We support all other marginalized groups, but when it comes to us, because we act like nothing happens to us, we act like we okay. Right, but this is something that affects us primarily, right? And so we just want to make sure that, we show love for it. So that's what that was. So that's what I'm excited for. Yeah,
That's what's up.
no doubt. So speaking of excited, that was
You ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, that's right. So we got some Class Lady Spark on the building. Give me good news and bad news by Class Lady Spark. Holla at me early.
All right, so most of y'all have heard of the tragic accident of American Airlines regional jet that collided midair with the U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter. Y'all all heard of that, right? Yeah. Over the Potomac River. So 67 people died on board. Many were from the ice skating community. So reports are stating that the Black Hawk was flying at an altitude altitude that was higher than it was supposed to. So instead of it flying at the 200 feet, it was flying at 300 feet, leading to the fatal crash. It also lacked automatic dependent surveillance technology, which report says prevented the accident because it didn't give more accurate positioning of the helicopter. So a lot of those type of air traffic controls and the black box, all that stuff is really needed to help prevent or to see what happens in the event of a crash. So President Donald Trump said the crash is because of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, implying that the policy compromised air traffic control hiring standards. Did y'all know about that?
Nah.
We can definitely discuss it. Even closer to home, a medical transport Learjet 55 carrying a pediatric patient from Mexico and the patient's mother, who was the patient who was treated at Children's Hospital Philadelphia. Right. They were seen there, and there were 4 crew members on board, and that was a fatal crash in the northeast section of Philadelphia. Okay. Not shortly after the takeoff, it went into a fireball explosion. 2 row homes in Philly in that northeast section caught on fire. Yeah. Unfortunately, as the Army Black Hawk and helicopter in that airplane, there were no survivors in this air crash either. Wow. The cause is still under investigation, with possible factors including engine failure or bird strike. So for those who have been affected by these tragedies, if you want any kind of support, you can call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administrative Disaster Distress Helpline at 1-800-985-5990. That was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot. And I want to, let me turn this down a little bit because I want y'all to see something. If you look below and scrolling, there is some resources down below where you can call. And so I'm going to pull this up real quick. And so there's a shelter at Samuel Fells High School located at 5500 Langdon Street. It's already people from the community that's already there that's receiving services, and this is via the Red Cross. Nice. So if you need any services, or if you're displaced and you need any services, you can contact the American Red Cross, or just go up there at the shelter, because there's people there. They already know why you're there. Here's another number. You can call 1-800-RED-CROSS for property damage or help in filing a claim. So if you are within that neighborhood, right, and something has happened to any of your property, they are helping file claims. So you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS for property damage or for help in filing a claim. And last but not least, if you're affected by the aircraft incident, you can text Recover PHL at 887-777. And what they do is send updates and information for those who were affected, and things that can help, resources that can help you. And so I just wanted to give this information out, because when I heard that you was doing a story, there's people, this is close to home, right? Both of them. Yeah, both of them. Yeah. Very, very close to home. So we just want to make sure that the people within our listening audience, not just listening, we're on 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk, but we are live on multiple platforms. And so please, please, please share this information. Reach out to a friend. Forward this information. Share, like, subscribe, all of that to those who may have been displaced. But just to give this information one more time, if you're hearing and not seeing this, shelter at Samuel Fells High School, located at 5500 Langdon Street. If you are displaced, misplaced, or you don't understand what you should do next in terms of having a place to stay, you can go to the shelter at 5500 Langdon Street. If you have some property damage and you need some help filing a claim, you can call 1-800-RED-CROSS, 1-800-RED-CROSS for property damage or for help in filing a claim. And last but not least, if you're affected by the aircraft incident, call, text You can text Recover PHL. That's RECOVER PHL to 887-777. That's 887-777. So you can get updates and information for help regarding this. And this is Philly, right? And we report hyperlocal. This is hyperlocal news, y'all. This is hyperlocal news, right? And so anything that happened around us in Philly, we want to make sure that at the very least you have the resources and you can get help for whatever you need. And so, yeah, man, that was something.
That was.
That was something, yeah, no doubt. You got something else? You good news, hopefully? Hold on, let me give her hard something like a Ricola, cause she getting caught. Ricola, look at her coughing, all carrying on, right?
Something got me too.
Something got you. You need a horse too?
No.
I see. All right, no doubt. Yeah, and so.
Keep talking.
She's always keep talking, right? And so, it's one of those things. The funny thing is, right? Everyone has been affected by something. So it is some type of viral situation that's going on in Philadelphia right now. I even had the sniffles, right? Little scratchy throat, pause, all of that, right? And so it was something that is going around. And I very rarely get sick. I don't get sick. It's very rare that I get sick, right? And so that's something that you need to make sure that you do. Take care of yourself. Get your liquids. Get your liquids inside you, all of that. And, make sure you take care of yourself because it's the weather. I blame it on the weather, right? Because it feels like it's getting warm. It feels like it's getting warm. But then just a couple seconds ago, it's freezing again, right? And so I think it's how the weather continues to change. And so that's something that we need to kind of see what's going on. Are you back with us?
I'm back.
She
Thank
said I'm
goodness for
back.
Ricola.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out, give a round of applause. That's good news right there. Round of applause. For she got it, no doubt.
Good save. All right. The next story is about President Trump's federal funding freeze. So this was a big controversy that was happening because Trump just was like, yo, I'm freezing everything so that I can see where it's being allocated. But then you did have people saying that that's against the law. Like he can't do that. So President Trump's federal freeze has officially been rescinded. The temporary freeze had billions of people in limbo, and there was controversy affecting programs like Medicaid and Head Start. But after the legal challenges and the major backlash, the White House pulled back. The move came from the OMB, which is the Office of Management and Budget. This oversees how federal dollars are spent, and the initial memo halted funding while the administration would review spending priorities. But as we know, that didn't last long. Also, President Trump is saying that there is some disruption coming, so brace yourself for higher prices. Trump's new tariffs, like a 25% tax that's going to be on goods from Canada and Mexico. So that starts today. So if you thought that your lemons, your tomatoes, your avocados were high, they could cost more.
Yeah.
Now, the egg thing, that was high because of the bird flu. Biden, I think, had killed, he basically authorized 1 million chickens to be killed because they didn't want to test them for the bird flu, but the bird flu was so rampant.
Wait. Say that again.
Over 1 million chickens were killed because of the bird flu. Wow. That's why eggs are so high. So now they have to incubate again for new chicks.
Wow. That's heavy.
Yeah. But today starts the new tariff for the tariffs that tax on Canada and Mexico. So we'll be spending about $800 more annually per family.
This is across the year, is what you're saying? For eggs?
No, I'm saying that now with the tariffs, because of President Trump putting on the taxes for Canada and Mexico, I think it's 25% for them, 10% for China. They're going to up their prices. So now we're going to be spending more out of pocket for different types of toiletries and retail.
Oh my goodness.
He's saying that there's going to be a disruption right now, but that money that he's going to be taxing to them is going to go into the economy. So we'll see.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Last story.
Okay, last story.
All right, this is the good news.
Okay, good news.
Can you What's the blow the whistle? Can you get
Blow
that?
a whistle. I know, right?
All right, Philly fans, it's happening. The Eagles are heading back to the Super Bowl. They had a hard fight and they beat the Redskins. Oh, my bad. The Commanders.
Okay.
Yeah,
the Commanders. Yeah.
Who really called them the Commanders?
I mean, you know, it's more appropriate.
Everybody.
It's more appropriate.
They're about to change it back. They're talking about it.
That would be because of Trump, maybe.
Well, I just think that the Indian that is on the Redskins helmet, it's like giving
Native
him
American.
the Native American
Right.
that is on the helmet.
Yeah.
It's giving homage to him.
Okay.
I feel like it is. I don't feel like Redskins was something that was derogatory, in my opinion. But okay, the Commanders. And so now the Eagles are about to beat the Chiefs.
That's right.
You ain't hear
Give
me
them a
say
round of
play.
applause there. Give them a round of applause
You
right
said-
there.
you heard what I
Bird
said.
Gang, Bird Gang. We represent
yeah,
Bird Gang. Hold on.
yeah. Hold it up, hold it
go ahead,
up.
Bird Gang. We represent
did it
Bird
again.
Gang right here. Here we go, all day, every day. So, man, look, Bird Gang all day. We feel. Listen, let me tell you something. If you're in Philly and you're not a Philadelphia fan, now I mean Flyers. I mean the Phillies.
Sixers.
Everything, the Sixers,
Yeah.
like you gotta be. That's how diehard Philly fans. Period.
Yeah, everything Philly.
It's a couple scraps out
Now,
there.
the entire team we know have been doing their thing. But
That's
there's
right.
one player I want to give a shout out to.
who's
He's
that?
been a game changer this season.
Who's that?
Saquon Barkley.
Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Give him a round of applause. That's right.
All right, since he joined the Eagles, Barkley has shattered records, including a franchise best of 255 rushing yards in a single game.
Crazy.
So also, this is also a rematch that's about to go down. So people who don't know, the Eagles played Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl 57. And for those who may not know, Andy Reid was the Eagles coach for 14 seasons
Yeah,
and never got a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And he's back. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that's So yeah. So I also want to give out another shout out.
I'll give another round. I'll take another shout out.
This is
Let's
one
go.
more
Let's give
shout
another
out.
shout
I think this is. I know I'm a Phillies fan. I know everybody here is, but this to me is the most loyal Philly fan.
Okay.
Gilly.
Gilly.
I want to
Ah,
shout
yeah,
out Gilly.
Shout out Gilly. Y'all-
Gilly
let's shout
has
out
been.
Gilly.
I mean, he cried. Did y'all
Shout out to Gilly.
see?
Shout out to
Like,
Gilly.
I mean, he showed true emotion when they won. So we know that. I'm gonna just close it out. We know that Philly is bringing back the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah, absolutely. No
So,
rap. Mm-hmm.
that's
so,
it.
Okay. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Good news and bad news with Classy Lady Spark. I'm your boy Charles Gregg with the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and the beautiful.
Lady Esther.
And we'll be right back after this, y'all. When we come back, we got a dynamic interview. I've been waiting for this interview. You know I love the interview because we get a chance to talk to good old folks out there, the people who's really doing the dynamic work. So you know which one I'm going to, right? Classy Lady
No,
Spark.
don't do that.
Yeah, I got to do it. We'll be right back after this, y'all. Holla.
We just want to get a little background as to who the Fantastic Noise is and the noisemakers. If you can let us know.
Yes, absolutely. So once again, I am Fantastic Noise. I am the original noisemaker, so no one's gonna make as much noise as me, okay? And right here we have the Noisemaker Band. This is only half of it. The other stuffs are upstairs. My Kevin Lamar, Lonnie, and Dobbs, who are the actual band members. These are the background singers, and we came to make some noise. We came to bring that noise today. So that's what we try to do. That's it.
right.
Yeah.
And how did you guys get together?
Oh man, so it started with I've been doing this on my own for almost 3 years now. And man, I guess each of these people here have different background stories. Most of us went to the same church together, and we just kept going. This one, her here, this is one of my assistants here. One of like my biggest supporter, my biggest shooter here. She's an assistant. So we just been building, and the same thing with upstairs with the band. Just meeting through people, kept networking, kept seeing, and it was just like God ordained. Bam, here we are.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, could you guys do We Talk Weekly a favor?
Yes.
Can you give us a drop in a melody type way?
Oh, a melody type way?
Yes.
Okay. So we talk weekly?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to do something like this. We talk weekly, come and hear us. We talk weekly, come and hear them. 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 We talk weekly, come and hear them.
She said, make sure you cut right there. That's because she's screaming in it. We talk weeklies after the talk, Bird Gang. You already know we bringing it back home. We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 F. What did you just say?
So why you looking at me.
I mean, shit, hold on. No. There. I can't find my. Hold on, my sound effect. Well, that's good too. That's right. All right. So there you go. We talk weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory and the beautiful
Classy Lady
and
Sparkle.
the beautiful. Lady Esther. Oh, look, your mic is off. I probably did that on purpose.
You
There you
did.
go. All right, so don't go, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the segments that I have love so much because we get to talk to good old folk, right? And so we're here with someone whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for. So, Classy Lady Sparkle, let us know who do we have today?
Today we are joined by Kyra Atterbury, Executive Director of Need Indeed, who holds a master's in public history from Temple University and a bachelor's in history from Loyola College. Let's delve deep into her work transforming Philadelphia's classrooms. Y'all already know what to do. Let's give a warm We Talk Weekly welcome to Kyra Atterbury.
How are you? Oh, I can't hear you. One more again.
I'm good.
There you go. Bring that mic just a little closer to you. There we go. How are you?
I'm good. Go Birds.
You hear? Let me see. One more thing.
How's that?
Hold on, I still don't hear you. One more again.
Okay.
No, let me. One more
How about that?
There we go. A round of applause for that. Now she sound amazing. So, go Birds, right?
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Yes.
There you go. Go Birds. I'm super excited. Bird Gang is definitely in the building. And so let's just jump right into, let's talk to you first of all. I always start the interview with, how was your day? So how was your day?
My day was good.
Okay.
I had a great day.
Okay.
I spent most of the day with my dog, Teddy. He's a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel. He's only 8 months old.
Okay. Let's give a round of applause for that. Yeah.
He's a baby. He's my baby. And we took lots of walks and hung out at home. So it was fun.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I got a little Frenchie, so I get the little dogs in the
yeah,
building. For sure. I see you got a little Eagle Perry on.
I always have my bird. I always represent for the birds.
There you go.
Always.
Fantastic. So let's just jump right into you, and some of the things you've been doing because you have a dynamic resume. So, and just a background in a lot of the things that you do. But I got to shout out to your alma mater because that's mine.
TU.
TU. They say the birds are everything. TU, mother, we
Owls
go
are
there, right?
everywhere.
No doubt. And so let's just start with that. What encouraged you? Why Temple? Why Temple? And then why the work? Why did your work start there?
So when I went to Temple, it was all about the fact that I knew that I would get a great education there. And what I loved about it was the fact that I would get a real education, if that makes sense. Like I could actually work in the field
Right.
and I could have real experiences. And that was incredible. I got to work in libraries and I got to have professors that were working actually in the field and were interested in what I was interested in. And so I loved my time at Temple. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Fantastic. Now, you and pretty much children, right? You're going into the ecosystem where our young people are there, right? And so what prompted you to start to go into that field? Yeah.
So my mom was a teacher. She was a Philadelphia public school teacher for 38 years.
Shout out to Mom. Give Mom a round of applause. Yes.
Yeah, a third grade teacher for most of that time. So I grew up with her, being this master educator. And I gained just a real respect for teachers and the amount of work that they put in. Because, I think people sometimes think that teacher's day ends at 3:00, and it doesn't. They go home, they grade papers, they're thinking about their next lesson. They're always thinking about how they can reach the kid that seems unreachable. And I just grew up with that.
Right.
And so I just have this incredible respect for educators and for the craft of teaching children. And so I became a teacher myself before I went into doing the work that I do now.
Right.
Because now I just work with teachers, and my whole job is about supporting them, and it's about just making their job easier,
Fantastic,
if
yeah.
that's possible.
Yeah.
And kind of removing a little bit of the pressure that they have, because they're under so much pressure right now.
Yeah. Public history, though.
Yeah.
I never hear anyone speaking about public history. Now, even heard of a focus in public history, right? So is it specific to, say, for example, regions, cities? So explain a little bit more.
Yeah, so I like to think about public history as the reason why the history is told. So I was always interested in why we were telling this side of the story.
Gotcha.
Because when you think about history, sometimes you're really only learning one side. And so public history
His
was-
story.
exactly. It's,
yeah.
it's right. Not a lot of her story,
Yes,
right?
yes,
or
yes.
their story.
That's right, that's right.
So I was always interested in the other side, the sides that were hidden, the sides of the people that weren't being told. So that's why I went into that field. I loved museums. And I really wanted to learn how to like tell a story from lots of different perspectives, not just the perspectives that we're all used to, but all the different ones.
Right, right.
And I got a chance to do that. I got a chance to work in archives. And when you work in the archives, you get the stuff that nobody knows about.
Okay.
So, you learn about like a little girl that lived in the house that nobody ever knew that she lived there, but you got to learn about her and the way that she dressed and the things that she liked to do and all of those kinds of things. And that's the history I was interested in.
Interesting. Was it anything that you learned in your studies that was a shock to you? Like, oh, wow, I can't believe that. Was it anything, one of those aha moments?
So my master's thesis
Okay.
was on Pocahontas, of all things.
Interesting.
And, the story of Pocahontas was that she kind of saves John Smith, and that's the reason why America gets, saved. And what I learned... More his story, right?
Yeah.
And what I actually learned was that story was probably one that was like sort of like a ritual in the tribe that she lived in. And it wasn't something that she decided, right? It was her father made her do that. And so, and she didn't have a lot of choice in her life. And I think that for me was like, wow, it just kind of takes a different spin on everything. And it gives you the perspective that we really have to do a better job with telling stories and telling the whole story of America and really, the world, because we don't get all sides. And the more that we can find out, the more that we're all included in that.
Yeah, I like that. One of the things that you say in your bio is that you like to amplify the voices of the young, right? The young folk.
Yeah.
Why is that such an important piece to you?
Again, I think it goes back to a little bit of what I just said. I
Right,
think
right.
sometimes that we don't think about children as having opinions and having voices.
Yeah.
And I work with kids every day that have really strong opinions about their community, who understand a lot more than we give them credit for, and are the future.
Right, there you go. That part.
And should have a say in what that future looks like right now. And so I think they're related a little bit, about why I studied history in the way that I did and why I believe that kids really should have a say in the way in which they're educated. And also because I think it just makes education more interesting.
Yeah.
For kids, when they're able to say, this is what I want to study, this is what I'm interested in, it makes it makes them want to come to school.
That's right.
And it makes them want to say, like, wow, I'm doing something in this classroom that really matters.
That's right.
I'm not learning something that's kind of out there and I don't know why I'm learning it. I'm learning it because it's happening in my community and I care about it.
At one time, there was like a big thing about CRT, critical race theory. What's your thoughts on that?
So critical race theory really has nothing to do with public education. Like, it's not taught in public schools. It's a theory that is taught in like graduate level courses. It's not anything to do with
Law,
third
too.
graders.
Law, too.
And in
Yes.
law,
Yes,
right,
yes,
exactly. Not even in I didn't even encounter critical race theory in my master's program. So I think, again, it was a label that was placed by probably people that were kind of afraid of what kids might say, but it doesn't have anything to do with public education in and of itself. What my organization, Need Indeed, does is it simply offers kids a chance to say what they care about in their community. and offers them a chance to say, like, I'm really concerned about the gun violence in my community. I'm really concerned about police brutality. I'm concerned about animal abuse. And that, to me, is what we want kids to do. We want kids to form opinions. We want them to think critically. And thinking critically doesn't have anything to do with critical race theory for a third grader or even for an eighth grader. It's just something that I think, again, a label was placed to kind of put a blanket statement over lots of things that it really wasn't.
Yeah, fantastic.
Talk to us more about Need Indeed. When was that established? How did it come about? And what services do you provide?
Yeah, so Need Indeed is almost 40 years old.
Oh, wow.
It was established in 1987 by a group of parents that were concerned about the community service that their students were doing in school. Not that they were concerned that they were doing community service, but they were concerned about the fact that their kids didn't understand why they were doing community service. And so they thought to themselves, what if kids could choose the service they did? And they created a framework that we use. And our framework is like a binder. And we go through and Need Indeed staff members would go into schools and they would go through this framework where kids would choose a social issue they care about, learn about it, and then do something about it. And it would take the better part of a school year. And that was the way that we ran for the first probably 17 years of Need Indeed's existence. 20 years ago, we shifted to what we call our network model, where we now train teachers to do that framework with their students. And so the teachers actually now incorporate the framework into their curriculum so that if kids choose something like homelessness, we can help them weave that topic into the classroom. So it could be part of social studies, it could be a part of English, it can be a part of math. So again, the kids are really seeing like, wow, the thing that I care about is a part of math.
Yeah.
It's a part of English. It's a part of social studies. And I'm going to come to school because I want to keep learning about it. And by the end of the school year, they're going to do something about that, an actual civic action that they'll actually do and really make a difference in their communities.
I'm glad that you said that. I'm glad that you said that because one of the reasons why we brought you on the show is because you are a fellow partner in EVA, right? Every Voice, Every Vote. And we love to amplify the voices of the partners because one of the things that we quickly realized within being part of that cohort is that there's not a lot of organizations like us, right? And because of that, what that then allows us to do is give you our platform to help amplify your voices even more, right? Now, to that point, right, I want to give you the opportunity, one, because we usually start with this question, what is civics or what does civics mean to you, right? And how you attack civics or engage within civics within your organization. But also talk a little bit about your organization for those who are watching now to know some of the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So for me, what civics is really knowing what's going on in your community.
That's right.
And knowing that you have a say in what's going on in your community. That if you don't like something that's happening in your community, there is a person that represents you, and you can go to that person and say, hey, I don't like this. Can we change it? How can we work together to change it? And so that's really what I think about when I think about civics. And it's what I think about civic engagement too. Need Indeed, that's what we're teaching kids, is that there's a way that you can engage with your community that doesn't have to be about complaining or about apathy or anything like that. If you see something in your community, let's work together and figure out how we change it.
Yeah.
Or if we like something, let's figure out how we do more of it.
Right.
So that's really, powerful for us. We're really amazed to be part of EV2 because it gives us the opportunity to do a forum where we're actually calling it our Educational Equity Forum. It's our second forum. Okay. It's going to be on February 19th. And we're going to be talking about Philly schools as humane spaces. And how do we advocate for the rights of Black and brown children, for immigrant children, for LGBTQIA children in this time where those children are under threat? How do we become advocates for them? And we have an amazing panel that's going to be moderated by Representative Rabb. We'll have Shanae Garner from Lift Every Voice Philly. We'll have Erica Guadalupe Nunez from Juntos, Rue Landau from City Council, and one more person that has escaped my mind. But yeah, so we'll have, an amazing panel discussion. And it's going to be February 19th. It's at FUMCOG at First United Methodist Church in Germantown. And it's going to be online and in person.
Okay.
And folks can go to our website, which is needindeed.org, to register for
Fantastic,
that. Yeah.
fantastic. So will there be a visual aspect to it? Will people be able to see it if they're not there?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. So it'll be live streamed actually, which is great. And we'll actually gonna start the program with some student voices. So we're actually in the process right now of asking our kids, like, what is your vision for Philadelphia? And how do we as adults live that out for them? Because we're going to hand this world off to them.
Right.
And we have a job to do before we do that.
And I'm glad you said that. I have like a two-part question. So because of where we're heightened, and I know you specify really with grades 3 through 8,
Yeah.
right? How do teachers handle it when students are out of control? I'm talking, you have students that are now fighting teachers. How do teachers handle that appropriately by staying safe? And also, how do teachers prevent burnout? Like you said, when they go home, they're still working, they're still spending their own money. So again, a two-part question.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's very hard right now. I think we haven't addressed all the things that COVID did to us emotionally, and especially to kids. I think one of the things that our teachers are great at, and what we really encourage them to do, is to build relationships with kids. It is all about relationships. So if a student, and this was important for me too as an educator, if a student is having a tough day, you having a relationship with that student is going to be the difference between whether or not that student has an even worse day, or can calm down with you. It's really going to be the difference. And so I think it's about encouraging that kind of relationship building, and really just being present for students. And being present for teachers themselves. And I think it's about finding ways to support teachers in our community. They just don't get enough credit for the work they do.
That's right. That's right.
And
that's right.
they really don't. And it's, as I said, it is very hard and it's very easy to get burned out. Because you're spending your own money. You feel like maybe you don't have supportive administration. There's lots of that. So just making sure that when you see a teacher, making sure that you say thank you to them. It's almost like we say thank you for your service to those in the military. I think we should say it to teachers too.
Absolutely.
Because they just need they need and they deserve it.
No, I agree with that. And I just want to expand a little bit more on that, because I want to tease out, what do you believe we can do for teachers, right? There's actually a thread, #TeacherTikTok, where they're explaining the challenges in the schools. They're explaining some of the even learning roadblocks that they're running into, and seeing certain, I guess, trends that's happening with our kids, right? I don't believe they get paid well enough. No. I've been in the schools. I lectured in the schools. I talked to the schools. I even have a director's credentials where I talked in early education, right? I taught in early education, was a director for a few different centers. And so I do see the amount of work that teachers do, right? That's not being, I guess, amplified enough in terms of the great work or the amount of work that they do. And to your point of giving money, giving their own funds, coming out their pockets, because they're not getting enough money
Right.
for the curriculum that they have to follow, right? And so, to that point, what can we actually do for teachers to support them more for just being basic citizens ourselves? So-
I think the more that we actually can, where we can, volunteer in schools.
Okay.
Right? If we can, go down to the street to the school and to say, listen, can I help you?
Well, to that point, they don't even allow some parents and
It's-
people in
yeah.
the schools now.
It can be really
and
hard.
then they make it even harder to even get clearance to do some stuff in schools,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And so to that, I'm sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
mean to cut you
No,
off
no.
with that, but no, I hear you. But we have to. For me, it's about. I shouldn't have cut you off. I'm sorry for that. We have to do more with allowing or giving agency for what you're talking about. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely that is 100% true. And where you can, I think it is important to offer the help, where you can, right? Because clearances are real, right? All of those kinds of things are real. The other thing that if you're a parent, then ask your student what they're doing in school. Like helping your child engage in class is extremely helpful to a teacher. Because then they're not dealing with some of those behavioral issues, right? If you're the parent that's engaged with your child and even just having conversation, that goes a long way. A lot of teachers also have, different things like donors choose, things like that, where they're trying to not use their own money to get a library for the classroom or to do something that they really want to do in the classroom. It's donating to those kinds of things. Just again, finding ways to really support them in their efforts. It's very challenging. And I think there's the other thing to do is around advocacy, right? There are ways that we can advocate for teachers to be paid more, right? There are keeping an eye on legislation that's happening, keeping an eye on legislation that's happening around school funding. Like the lawsuit that happened last year around, the fact that we now should be getting more money coming into Pennsylvania schools because it was ruled that there's not enough money flowing into Pennsylvania schools. So really advocating and asking our legislators, hey, what's going on with that? Is that going to happen? Where is that funding that's happening? It's sort of keeping our eyes open for those kinds of things.
Speaking of policies, what are your thoughts for President Trump, with the Board of Education now taking that away? And how important do you think the Board of Education, since we've already have a baseline and we've experienced what it is and we know what flaws they have, what's your take, positive or negative, as to what changes are about to come?
I mean, I think in terms of the Department of Education, one thing that's not answered for me is what happens to special education funding, because that's the federal government sort of mandates special education funding. So if that is cut off, I don't know what happens at a state level. That's really scary. So any child that has an IEP that needs special assistance, that's not going to happen if the Department of Education goes away. So it's quite frightening.
So that happens you said on a
It happens on a federal level.
Not on the state
Not
level.
on the state level, right? That money comes from the federal
So,
government.
do you think that they're going to now make it where programs are on the state level for that?
I'm not sure where, I don't know.
Right. It
But
has no talks about it.
there's no talks about that. I have not heard about that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So the Department of Education is quite important. And I think these are things that we just don't know, right? There's things that we just kind of assume that are there and we're not sure exactly what's happening. But that's in a really important department, like I said, especially around special education funding, and making sure that the money is flowing to our schools. Yes, a lot of money comes from the state, but there are federal dollars that flow down to the local level. And it's really important that we ensure that those dollars keep flowing.
Has the Department of Education been, I know that you mentioned that, but have they been extremely instrumental as far as on the positive side Or is there a reason to say, hey, wait, we need to probably either rebuild, dismantle what type of organization they are?
I think that there's a lot of it's a difficult question to answer because I think education in and of itself could use a revamp. Right? Like we're
Yes.
still
Yes.
we're still educating children like we're an agrarian society, right?
right,
Like
that's
we're
right.
still doing that. So I think all in all, education could use a total sort of revitalization and thinking about what does it mean to educate a child of the 21st century?
Right, because a lot of sigmoid and all of the, those psychologists, we're still looking at that in child development
Right,
and
exactly.
lifespan. And it's like, hey,
Exactly.
why
Exactly.
can't we have some other type of scholars to look at?
Right, exactly. And things that are coming down the pipeline now, like AI, right? AI
right.
is here, right? So how are we making sure that our students are prepared to go out into the world and work in a world that is dominated by AI?
Absolutely.
And so I think that there's a lot of things that we could do to revitalize the educational system. I had a lot of hopes when COVID happened that, it was a completely different sort of thing, right? And I had a lot of hope that, wow, this could be an actual opportunity where we could say, what does it mean to educate a kid? Right? If we're learning how to educate children remotely, what does that mean for the classroom?
Yeah.
And we kind of went back to doing all the things that we were doing before. And so I think we're still in this period of like, who knows what's going to happen, but we need change. We need real change.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of private schools, because it allows them to be a little bit more, I guess, creative
Agile.
with their curriculum to do certain things, to innovate,
Yeah.
right? Because unfortunately, as you stated, and I 100% agree, we're in this, this particular moment where we're still stuck on how we used to do things when the entire world is innovating now.
Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, listen, they're not even teaching how to write in cursive now in schools.
Right.
They took that out, right? Yet they're not putting all of the innovative stuff in the
They're still
schools.
doing
If you're taking
standardized
away,
testing,
yes, if
yes.
you're taking away certain things, you got to put some things in there, right? And so it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I 100% agree. This time is speeding really fast. I mean, one thing that we say is once you come to the show, you're a friend to the show, so you're always welcome to come back. So I'm throwing that
Thank you.
the invite
Yes.
right now, right? But what I do want to do real quickly is pull up. This is your media deck, your media kit for. I'm gonna move this over.
Oh, that's our shout out.
Your shout out. So let's go through this, because I think this deserves some commentary. Let me see if I could make sure. I gotta really do this quick little shout out. We gotta do this ID real quick before we talk. So this is We Talk Weeklies after the talk on WPPMLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory, the beautiful
Classy Lady Sparkle.
and the beautiful.
Lady Esther.
And we are here right now with someone with whom we have a tremendous amount of respect for, talking about Need Indeed, some of the dynamic work that she is doing in the schools and educating not only the youth, our future, but some of the teachers, giving them some tools. And what she's about to do at this point is walk us through some of the things that's happening within. What is it called? Your promote. What is it? What is it again?
Yeah, Need Indeed, our program.
Our
Yeah.
program. So let's talk through that, because you can see what I pull up. I'm gonna try to increase the size of this real quick, because I think. Oh, here we go. We right here. So let's talk a little bit about this. So. This is Need Indeed, and this is your program guide, and I love the fact. So May 21st, so this is when it began.
So the shout out is actually our year-end celebration.
Oh, fantastic.
So we do
Okay.
it every year.
Right.
And it's when our students get to talk about the projects that they completed over the course of the school year.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And these, is that Roz?
Yes, that is.
Let me tell you something about Roz right here. So
We love Rob.
Roz is one of those dynamic. This is the reason why I do the show. for people like that, people like you, no one knows about the stuff that she do except the people that's really in those streets, right? And so I talk about her a lot because, you know, I have been down to give her resources in Kensington, in the middle of Kensington, right? And the amount of people who she is helping just because she loves what she does with no help. Right? And so I love to amplify. I forgot the name of her organization. The Sunshine House, I believe it's called, the Sunshine House that she is. But amazing woman. We'll have her on the show. She's a good friend of mine. We give a lot of stuff to help her and assist some of the work that she does for the community, for the people.
Yeah.
And so interesting that I didn't notice that. So shout out to Roz. So let's get more from the experience. You ask questions, you do a lot of things, right? Need Indeed. And something that I seen was, let me see, the Inside Need Indeed classrooms. And so what happens in the classrooms as you go through this?
Yeah. So our students choose at the beginning of the year. We just ask the teachers to get to know the kids, right? Who are these children in front of you?
Right.
And what do they care about in their community? And they'll choose a social issue that they care about.
Love it. Civics 101.
Exactly. They'll choose a social issue they care about. And then we come in and help the teacher find resources so that the kids can learn about that social issue. So we'll send them books and videos and podcasts so that the kids can learn about it, and community partners. So Roz is one of our favorite community partners.
Shout out to Roz right there. No doubt.
Yeah. So Roz will come in and talk to students about what's happening in Kensington, about the work that she's doing. And then using all of the things that the kids have learned, they'll come up with some kind of action to do by the end of the school year. And so what you're looking at there is our program for the Shout Out. And those were just some of the projects. This year, we're working in 47 schools with about 70 teachers across the city. And our projects range the students choose anything from gun violence to mental health to climate change to whatever's on their mind that particular year. That's what they choose. And they get very, very passionate about their topics.
I'm sure.
And they really become little experts on it. So you mentioned, we're friends now, so I'm going to make sure that you all have an invitation to the Shout Out. So that you can come and see the kids and hear from them and hear what they've learned and what they're doing and what they care about.
Oh, fantastic. So make sure y'all support, man. What a dynamic organization is community service organization, right? You're talking about an organization that is here for those kids. And it says, look, 844-500-6911. Is that still?
Yes, that's right. Exactly.
No, so shout out to you and some of the things that you're doing. If there is anything that we can do at We Talk Weekly, right? I mean, we do this for the love. We do this for the love. We love what we do, and we love to amplify people like yourself to make sure that people hear your voice, hear the things that you're doing so they can participate in, right? And so the only thing we ask is that you pay it forward. That's the only thing that we ask, is that you pay it forward to help those who need a little push, right? And so how can anyone get in contact with you and all that good old stuff?
Yeah. So our website is www.needindeed.org. If you want to come to the Educational Equity Forum, then you can register on that website. The other person that I forgot to mention was Christina Moon from Children First. She's also on our panel. And my email address is Kyra, Kyra, @needindeed.org. And you can always send me an email, and I'm happy to get in touch. If you're interested in being a community partner in a classroom to help kids learn about a social issue or to help kids complete a service, you can also email me because we're always looking for folks that work in the areas that our kids choose. And you can always donate and, just get in touch with us.
Yeah, fantastic. Give a round of applause to Kyra in the building. No doubt. Shout out to you. Shout out to the work you do. And ladies and gentlemen,
thank you for the work that you do.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I don't want you guys to go anywhere. I think this is a great time to go to some more kids. Right?
Yeah,
That's been doing some
absolutely.
excellent work out there in the civics and the newscape. That they are. We talk weekly fellows, so I don't want you to go anywhere. When we come back, we got Brother Bowman that was hanging out there about to do his thing. But I don't want y'all to go anywhere. When we come back, we got another dynamic conversation about we gonna do 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment.
Birthright citizenship.
Birthright citizenship. That's right.
Right.
We're gonna talk. So don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after this, y'all. Holla.
Hi, I'm Willow Jordan with Youth Civic News, and I'm here with my grandfather.
Willie Jordan.
And G-Pop, what brings you out tonight?
Well, I'm here to discuss the importance of the election that's coming up, and important of responsibility that we have to do is get out to vote.
What is your role?
I wear many hats, but one is a community activist, and that means to keep people aware and make them informed on the issues of the day, so they can come out and make a real good choice on voting for the right candidates.
What are some of the issues you see?
Housing, education, transportation. There's a lot of things. Anything that we do in our lives has to do with elections, politicians, elected officials making those decisions. The amount of time that you stay in school and the amount of days you stay in school is based on what some elected official came up with.
How important is it to vote?
It is very important. It's not just important, it's responsible. Voting is not a selfish activity. It's a selfless. You vote to help others. So as you help others, people help you, and it'll be a better world, a better city, a better country to live in.
Where do some of your beliefs come from?
Well, my belief is based on, I would first come from my home training. My parents told me the importance of civic responsibility, caring, loving, sharing, being involved, being responsible on your actions.
Is there any positive knowledge you would give to the people who don't vote?
I would tell them if they can't come up with a reason why they should vote for themselves, come up with a reason why they should vote for someone else, for their parents, for their children, for more street lights, how they want a better community. Do it for someone else.
I'm Willow Jordan reporting from Youth Civic News, and I'm here with my grandfather, Willie Jordan.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know, right? We talk weeklies after the talk on WPP MLP Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We talk weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gergen and beautiful
Class Lady Sparkle.
Lady Estad is handling some business with our last guest, but we got our brother.
That was a great.
Yeah, that was. Go ahead.
That was a great interview.
Yes,
I mean, I didn't even know that about the Board of Education. That on a federal level, you don't get the almost like the special needs funding. So they're going to wonder what they're going to do with that.
Yeah.
So that was informative.
Yeah, definitely informative, man. But we want to continue to. If you have an organization that you feel like can use some amplification, holler at us. Come to the show. You can email us at admin@wetalkweekly.com. Admin@wetalkweekly.com. But if you're watching this, make sure you subscribe, and share. We don't ask for anything. We don't ask for no money right now. We would like a donation, but we just want you to like and subscribe. Make sure you go to our YouTube page right now. Like and subscribe.
And they can inbox it. They can DM us on all of our social media platforms too.
That's right.
So we check those often as well.
We sure do. Now we got my brother co-hosting for us today. You look a little dark
He's
right
back.
there. Yeah, he's back.
Yeah, I thought he was going to have a question for our last guest.
I know, right?
As an educator himself.
I didn't want to say too much.
He's staying over here.
Yeah, right. No, definitely. That would have been intriguing to hear what was on your
I'll
mind.
tell you one thing. The Board of Education, the Department of Education, has been a failure.
Right. That's what I wanted to hear. That's the people are home waiting to hear the opposing side too.
Yeah, it's been a failure. So why are people mad at President Trump because he wants to abolish it? Even though for decades they've said that the Department of Education has been horrible. You look at the proficiency rates in Philadelphia. people, Wellington, the superintendent, said something about graduation rates increasing, but anybody can fudge a grade to make sure that a student graduates. That don't mean that the student is actually educated.
Is that the kid left behind
All of that.
mindset? Like
It's been the
even-
mindset of the Philadelphia public school system at least for the last 40 years, because full disclosure, when I graduated from high school, I could not read, write, or do math on a high school level.
What high school did you go to?
Dobbins.
You went to Dobbins, okay.
And I graduated into the top 10% of my class. So my first year in college, I had to take high school math, high school reading, and high school writing because I wasn't prepared. So
Right.
if I wasn't prepared and I went to Dobbins and I'm at the top of that class, imagine the
How
students
many
that
of
went
your
to the
co-students?
to those other schools that weren't as good as Dobbins.
Right.
So
Wow.
it's all just
And for you
smoke
to
and
be
mirrors.
giving back though, because you were, like you said, a product of it. So
Yeah,
you're like,
so
hey, I know what the game is.
It's an obligation to give back. That's a Friedman philosophy.
Yes.
Friedman always look out for Friedman, always looking to lift up, always honest, and trying to get over on no people, but just keeping it 100.
Yeah. So while we're there, why don't we jump right into it? Because I want to start with this kind of statement that someone is definitely right on the same line as you are. They say the Bible consultant with Afrikaan consciousness says President Trump said that the 14th Amendment is only for benefit and affirmative action protection for the American freedmen, descendants of the emancipated. So let's start there because I
Right.
know your talk is pretty much about that. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Yeah.
So there's been a lot of talk about birthright citizenship and what birthright citizenship actually is. So let's go to 1790 in Pennsylvania. It was the Gradual Abolition Act, and people who were enslaved would be gradually freed, and they would be freed at age 21, 25, or whatever. But the question came up to the pregnant slave woman that was about to be freed. What happens to that baby?
Right.
That baby has birthright citizenship.
Right.
And that was done in Pennsylvania because Pennsylvania freed its slaves way before the country did. So we got to understand that first of all, right?
Right.
And then there was the 13th Amendment. The 13th Amendment abolished slavery.
Right.
But it didn't give us legal rights. It didn't give us citizenship. Then that's why the Civil Rights Act of 1866 was created. That is what gave citizenship to the former slaves.
Mm-hmm.
That is what gave citizenship to the former slaves.
Right.
Right? People don't understand how that happened. So that had to be put into the Constitution so that it couldn't go anywhere. It was like there had to be an insurance policy to that Civil Rights Act of 1866. And that insurance policy was the 14th Amendment. So when it says in there that subject to a jurisdiction, right? That's referring to the people who was referred to in the Civil Rights Act of 1866. The 14th Amendment was not broad for anybody who comes into America. It was specifically geared to the progeny of the emancipated because the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment, the Reconstruction Amendments, are the treaty exclusively for the former slaves.
Okay, just so I'm following history correct, I'm taking notes. So, and I'm gonna use the black people because I know you say Freedmen.
It's Freedmen. Yeah,
Freedmen.
Freedmen.
Okay, so Freedmen, for those who don't know, considered black people for layman's terms. Is that appropriate?
No.
No. So
we have to be very specific who the so-called black people you're referring to because you have Africans who are black people, you have Jamaicans who are black people, you have Dominicans who are black people. So a skin color doesn't define the status of those
okay,
people.
so Freedmen were we considered U.S. citizens before the 14th Amendment?
No,
We were not.
No.
And that is why the 14th Amendment
exactly.
was created.
The Civil Rights Act of 1866 made us citizens. That was the legislation that made us citizens. It was the first law, actually, to make anybody citizens in this country. So understand that we were citizens based on the Civil Rights Act of 1866,
Gotcha.
not based on the 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment constitutionalized our citizenship.
Got you. Okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So when an immigrant comes and say that they have birthright citizenship based on the 14th Amendment, they don't know the history of how that 14th Amendment came about. So they can't just go and jump on and say, oh, I'm born here, so this makes me a citizen.
But that's what's been going on.
That's what's been going on illegally, and that's why my President Donald Trump, stood up and said publicly before the world that the 14th Amendment belongs to the children of slaves. The so-called racist president, no other president in the history of this country since it's been created, since the Civil Rights Act of 1866, no other president has stood up and said that, yo,
Declared and decreed.
former slaves, American freedmen, you guys who have been given the worst of everything, the worst neighborhoods, the worst education, the worst health care, you have this for yourself for equal protection, because the 14th Amendment gives us equal protection under the law. So if there's a 100% fully functional white school, we got to have the same thing for the American freedmen. So we should be shouting for joy that declared that the former slaves, the freedmen, for us to now take it. You know what that means? That means that there has to be policy set not only in Philadelphia, but all over the nation to abide by what the facts are. The facts are that the 14th Amendment belongs to the former slaves, the American freedmen. So now it's up to us to use it. We have to demand equality. And the President of the United States, the first one to ever do it, not even Obama did it. The so-called black president, who is a constitutional lawyer, he never stood up for the American freedmen. And President Donald Trump, the supposed racist, I don't care if he did all those other things that they say that he did, right? He did one thing right. He recognized us. So why should we be looking at the 99 things that he did wrong when he did one thing right specifically for the progeny of the emancipated?
All right, so I just want to all right, so I get that, right? I get that. And for me, it's just trying to understand the leadership or the big thinkers, right? In identifying who we are as a people, right? And so we have people that call, we're black, right? African Americans, is still people that say Negro, is still people that says colored, right? So I'm gauging that the problem with arguing for, say, for example, reparations is because within the Constitution there is no identification of, say, for example, black people or African Americans, right? You're saying that that it's important for us to identify specifically how we're identified in the Constitution.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Genealogy.
Cool. So to that point, I just want to pull up this and I want to read something to you because there's people like someone who I consider a big thinker within the context of identifying who we are, right? And that's Tariq Nasheed, right? He talks a lot about FBA. And for those who don't know who Tariq Nasheed is, you can just Google search him. But he's a film producer, a historian, someone who has been doing a lot of research that's known for his documentaries or docuseries of hidden colors, hidden figures, hidden colors, right? And so he used a term that's called FBA, right? Foundational Black Americans, right? And just to give a context of what that is, it says foundational Black Americans are the proud descendants of the Black men and women who endured and survived one of the greatest atrocities in human history, American slavery. These resilient ancestors built the United States from the ground up, laying the foundation for the nation's economic, political, and cultural development. However, the rich history of FBA did not begin in 1619, with the arrival of enslaved Black people in Virginia. It began nearly a century earlier. So, to that point, right? To that point, I want your take on now this identifying term for us as FBA versus the term that you're utilizing in your organization for American, was it Philadelphia Reparation Coalition for American freedmen,
Right.
_ freedmen. So let's talk a little bit about that in your take. Yeah.
So if anyone wants to use foundational Black Americans or anything like that, use it outside of interfacing with the government.
Okay.
And that's the first thing.
That's fair.
The second thing is that if he's saying that that the FBAs are not a part of the people who were enslaved, then he has to go and deal with another fight.
Right.
Because what we're dealing with is rooted in the Constitution. What he's dealing with is some cultural stuff that's not codified in law. So he can do that, but we're dealing with what Congress said.
Right.
Yeah, so that really answers that. We are American freedmen in law.
So I have a question regarding the law. So is it, and educate me on this. So when President Lincoln, was it that he promised the freedmen that they would get their, 40 acres and a mule?
The Emancipation Proclamation, that 40 acres and a mule was a negotiation with in the Savannah Colloquy with the 20 ministers and community leaders with the government.
Okay.
To determine, they negotiated.
But once Lincoln was assassinated, then that changed? Was it reversed?
No, it wasn't reversed by that. It was reversed because of a number of things. The Compromise of 1877, which was basically a handshake so that, I forget the president's name, but so that this president would get in, and they agreed to just...
I think it was Johnson?
No, Andrew Johnson was the one who vetoed the 14th Amendment initially, and Congress overrode it.
So I guess my question is, we were once promised economic reparations, but it was removed. It
wasn't taken. It was sabotaged. It was taken. It was sabotaged illegally. Reconstruction is actually still going on. That's why we call it Reconstruction 2.0.
Okay.
So
is this your fight in advocating to see about getting what was promised to us? Is that what the...
Well, we're not. We're demanding what is ours.
Okay.
It's not like a lot of people say, oh, you're going to ask these white men. No, it's already codified in law that this is ours.
Gotcha.
But we have to go and get it.
Right. So we have to... I think we all have to get to a point where we agree to something together. I think as long as we...
I disagree with that.
You disagree? Okay.
Yeah, we have to deal with what the law says.
Okay.
We can't just say, okay, I agree with this and you agree with that, and let's come to a middle ground. The 39th Congress already said what we are supposed to have.
There's a contract already
done.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit back and like your buddy Solomon talks about, let's get together and discuss which way we should go. It's already been defined by the 39th Congress.
We can give us that, and then we have a discussion about something else.
We don't even need that discussion.
Okay.
We don't need that discussion because the 39th Congress already said what is ours. But let me tell you what this really is. This is a lot of fear.
Yeah.
We have people who are scared of white people. We have people in city council, leadership, who are scared to say exactly what it is. So until they get, like, people tell me, they say, Obona, you speak so hard down there. Because I'm not scared and I'm demanding what's mine.
Right.
How do I go passively to the government and say, "Oh, please, can you please give me what's owed to me?" And then they keep ignoring me, and they keep ignoring me, and they keep ignoring me. So at some point, we got to stop being cowards. we got to stop being afraid to stand up for what is ours. Our ancestors were great people. They did not just accept what we were given. So they demanded freedom, and they negotiated it at the Savannah Colloquy for the 4 million newly freed slaves, what we should actually have. And those laws are still in effect. So if they're still in effect and we're suffering, why not go to the laws that are right there? Just like I may have mentioned before, when there are gun issues, gun advocates go straight to the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Why don't we go straight to the 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, 15th Amendment, Civil Rights Act of 1866 every time we have a grievance?
And so in that agreement, it acknowledges us as freedmen.
Absolutely.
Okay.
In the Constitution, we are freedmen.
Okay.
In the congressional records,
Right.
it talks about that specific class of people who were slaves.
Right.
And we became freedmen. There were no other discussions
Right.
about anybody else. I want to be very clear about that 14th Amendment.
Right.
Again, the 14th Amendment was to solidify, it was like an insurance policy for the Civil Rights Act of 1866,
Right.
which is what gave us citizenship. We did not get citizenship from the 14th Amendment.
Okay.
We got citizenship from the Civil Rights Act of 1866, and the 14th Amendment codified that in the Constitution. It made it a constitutional mandate.
Yeah, it stamped it.
It stamped it.
Right,
So,
correct.
again, birthright citizenship is something that birthright advocates have misused. But if you look at the congressional record, if you read the congressional records, Trump, I forgot this brother's name, but this is the congressman that introduced the 14th Amendment.
Okay.
In the records, he says specifically who it's not for. It's not for foreign nationals. It's not for aliens. So all of this fighting that they're going to be doing against what President Trump said, they're going to lose. Because all they have to do is go to the congressional records, and they will see exactly what the intent was. It was not intended. I mean, look, think about this. If you go and have a baby in Jamaica, you have a baby in Jamaica, is that baby going to be a Jamaican baby?
Because it was born in Jamaica?
Yeah.
Is it coming? Would the baby be coming back to the
You're an
US?
American citizen.
So
You're an
no, it would be a U.S. citizen.
Okay,
or a
so
US.
now think about this for a minute.
I'm on vacation. I'm over in Jamaica. I
Right,
have a baby.
right.
He's Jamaican. He would be a Jamaican citizen.
No, that's not true at
That's
all.
not?
No, not
Oh, so
at
they
all.
don't do the quote unquote anchor situation. Is that what you're saying?
It's only America. That's why Donald Trump says it's wrong, and that's why he's going by the Constitution.
Yeah, got you.
But forever, we've always said that if you were born on U.S. soil, you were a
Yeah,
U.S. citizen. But you're saying that
I'm saying
is
that they've
wrong.
been misusing it,
Yeah.
and they've been lying to you, and you have public officials,
Who is they? They. When you-
elected officials.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
Now
Yeah.
look, let me tell you what happened the other day. We have right now an underground railroad being conducted by freedmen for illegal immigrants. The state Democratic Party had a press conference yesterday detailing to illegal immigrants how to avoid ICE. That's treasonous when the president says something and they're saying, no, this is how we're going to circumvent it. That's treasonous against the country.
And you saying that people in Congress was doing this?
No, people, the state house, the state reps.
Okay.
I'll send you.
Okay,
I'll
yeah,
send
yeah.
you the video because, again,
Yeah.
we got to work with these guys, right?
Right.
I don't want to necessarily say any particular names, but
No, I understand.
the Democratic Party did this, and guess what? There were immigrants who were elected officials standing up there fighting for this. So now think about it. Who do they have allegiance to? So check this out. When you go to the Italian market,
Right.
they have Italian flags up there, right?
Yeah.
You go to Chinatown, they got Chinese flags up there, right? But they in America. They are subject to that jurisdiction. They shouldn't be flying any foreign flags in my country if they are dedicated to this country.
Right.
Whenever they show this, they're telling you who
Their allegiance.
their allegiance is
Yeah.
to.
No, I got you.
So
No, for
that's
sure.
why what the elected officials did was treasonous.
I got
It
you.
was Confederate. It was Confederate driven. They were trying to stop us from being free.
Hmm.
No, they're wrong. And I will stand 10 toes down.
Okay.
And the Constitution verifies this. All you got to do is go to the congressional records and read it, and it's right there. And
So all right, hold your thought, because I want to bring in these comments, because there's a few comments that came in, and I want to let
Okay.
you give a take on these
No
comments.
doubt.
So the brother said President Trump said the 14th Amendment is only for benefit and affirmative action protection for the American freedmen, descendants of emancipation. He goes on to say FBA, Foundational Black Americans, is a term of art. It is not recognized recognized political status, and yeah, we get that definitely.
it's an incoherent stereotype.
Okay.
It's a term of art. Like, you my homie.
Yeah, no, for
I
sure.
can't go into court and say, yo, my homie did this.
Yeah.
Nah.
So I think the brother Tariq Nasheed is acknowledging or trying to make. He said he coined the term after another term. I'm sorry, because I respect the brother. So I forgot the term that he coined it, but he said that term specifically was easily inclusive of everyone else. So he wanted to be specific to us, right? Us being black folks, so to speak, right? So foundational Black Americans, right, is more conducive of who we are as for us to identify as being those descendants, right? And so if that's the case, if you're saying that we shouldn't utilize that term, we should go by American freedmen, right? Then where does a term like FBA, where does that then come into play? Because the problem that I see is because of these big thinkers, right? These big
Why
thought
do you say
leaders.
they're big thinkers?
I'm just in general, just walk with me real quick. Just walk with me real quick. All right. I say big thinkers in terms of people who are not just understanding what everyone else is doing and doing more thinking than others, right?
How do
In
you know
terms
that
of who we
thinking
are.
is, but a lot of people can think.
Right.
But does that mean that what they're thinking about is correct?
No, not necessarily, but in terms of this brother, because I don't know him at all. I just listen to some of the stuff he does. He's a fellow podcaster, blogger, and I listen to some of his stuff. I like a lot of his things. But to that point, right? I guess what I'm asking is, because I won't get into like all the nuances, but what I will say is, where do we, if we know that he has a certain platform and he has some leadership, Dr. Umar Johnson has some leadership, you yourself has some leadership, and all these other people who are thinking past, just basic level, right? Just surface. What obligation do we have for us to get on the same page so we can then move the needle as opposed to splitting the folk, right? So that we can try to see where we can begin. And I think that's the question that I'm asking.
So the American freedmen are rooted in law.
Right.
It's not up for us to go and bring them into the truth. It's up to them to recognize what the truth is,
Right.
and come to us. And what they're going to do, he's going to have to deal with that. I already know what the American freedmen are going to do.
Yeah.
The American freedmen are going to deal with what the president said.
Right.
So why would I see? What I'm saying is that they have that platform because they have more resources. But that doesn't mean that they're right.
Got you.
You see, so in that vein, I'm asking people to go to the freedmencoalition.org website and donate some money the way they was throwing money at Black Lives Matter. You see, we are doing the actual work that our ancestors did. We're dealing with what, see, you know, we had political conventions before we had the right to vote. And those congressmen, they were coming to our meetings. So people think that the white folks just got the idea on their own. They got the ideas of what to do from us. One thing that we had was political cohesion. So what I'm saying is that those people who have those big platforms, because they're able to promote all this time that they've been doing all of what they're doing, what have they done in regards to changing policy? They are essentially content creators if they're not creating policy. I'm the unseated council president. I speak at city council every week. I introduce legislation to change policy. I'm not just making film and getting on making clips. I'm the black gorilla and all. No. I'm an American freedman. I'm dignified. I'm dealing with what my ancestors. Matter of fact, I'm dealing with what Frederick Douglass.
Yeah.
Frederick Douglass met with Abraham Lincoln. Obona Higgins is going to meet with President Trump. We're going to meet with President Trump and let President Trump know that we can help you make America great again. Because the only time that America was really great was when we did the so-called Black Wall Streets, all those inventions.
So that's what I want to ask you.
Yes.
Let's, in a perfect world, you were that black, the freedmen will get what you're asking. What does that look like in 2025?
It's an inheritance.
Okay, but
It's whatever is needed. There is no limit to it.
so what is that? What is the whatever?
What it's money, it's land, it's our institutions.
So just walk with me with it. So if they say, "Hey, you can have this," is it?
No, not what we can have. This is what we're gonna get. We're
Okay.
gonna take all this land
So
outside
you-
of Philadelphia.
So you are. That's what I'm saying. So
We're
you,
gonna build Freedman towns.
You'll
all
say
over
this
the
is
country.
where. So this is what I want to. This is what you want to own, or this is a island that's going to be owned.
No.
Like,
So
you know what I'm
it's-
saying?
it's
Like, how does
equality.
that?
It's whatever white folks have, we're supposed to have too. So we have Walmarts. Where is the Freedman Walmart? The government has to subsidize somebody like me to open up Walmarts the same way they subsidize Jeff Bezos and Zuckerberg and Tesla. They became billionaires because of government funding, government contract. But what government contracts do the American freedmen get? So I'm saying it's beyond money. It's an inheritance of what our bank, our schools, our towns, our money, our education institutions, everything. We're equal. It's hard for most people to fathom. But what you see white people doing, we're supposed to be, those rich white folks, we're supposed to be doing the same thing. We're supposed to be able to go to a vacation every other week.
Yeah.
That's what the 13th Amendment guarantees, equality.
Yeah, I think the problem is people define what even equality is, right? That's what equity is, right? What equality is. And so when you say we should have what white folk have, some white folk don't have anything.
No, we ain't talking about
right?
those white folks.
All right,
We're
cool.
talking about the
All right.
majority of white folks
Right,
that
right,
make
right.
188,000 to
All right,
our
so
24,000.
all right, cool. So let's start there, right? And so now that we know we're talking about rich white folk, right?
We're talking about white folks in general. The average white, the average white person household is at 188,000.
Okay.
The average American freedman is at 24,000. The first thing that has to happen, that economic wealth gap has to be boom.
Right. So the question, because we always say, look, we deal with solutions,
Okay.
right? So how do we get there? Like how do we? So wait, I just want to get this thought out, right? So if we won, because first we have to qualify and find out what the tangible is.
The tangible is what is written and codified in law.
Got you. So what's written and codified in
Right.
law, right? So we got that, right? So we know what's in there, right? We know they acknowledge the freedmen, right? Emancipated freedmen. They say the 39th Congress used the status of emancipated as freedmen. So we got that, right?
Right.
So now that we know that, how the tangible of the how much.
There
You
is
have
no
to
certain
see
amount.
that, but see that's the thing. So that's where the problem lies,
not a
because
problem.
we will argue about
No, it's no argument.
I
See,
got
the
you. Okay.
argument,
All right.
the argument is in the congressional records. It's
Right.
whatever.
whatever. Right.
So now, here's one of the.
So
things
it's
need.
a limitless bank
It's a
account.
limited. But here's what happens. There's some ways to get it right.
Right. Okay.
We talked about the Freedmen's Bureau.
Right.
That's the access to all of what we need.
Right.
So I suggest that people go to our website and learn about the Freedmen's Bureau. Learn about what that actually did. We're fighting right now.
Right.
I would say we're not fighting. We're negotiating with the city to establish the first of its kind since emancipation, a Freedmen's Bureau in the city of Philadelphia, so that we can begin to get help. Again, 14th Amendment, equal protection, right? There's offices for everybody else in City Hall.
No, it
There
is.
is no office. So what Donald Trump did essentially was say, yo, Obona, you're right when you told Councilman Jeffrey Young that he has an obligation to uphold the 14th Amendment.
Right.
Right? To give us our office, just like the immigrants have an office, the Caribbeans have an office, the gays have an office, right? But a lot of those things are going to be eliminated because they're all race-based. A lot of them race-based. So, so what I'm saying is that if they have an office, very plain and simply, we're supposed to have one too. So President Trump basically said that the 14th Amendment is yours.
Right.
Use it.
So how do we know who are freedmen?
Ah.
People who like that, like you said, Jamaicans, they
Who
or have
can-
black skin, like, but their great grandmother was that, and now they're here in America as
They
an.
don't qualify.
So-
if you can trace your lineage to
So-
1870,
So these in order to get the freedmen,
Right.
let's say that the benefits are there.
Right.
The only way to do that is now you have to.
right. So what the Philadelphia Reparations Coalition is tasked with is we're being advocates, right? So we're gonna set up, when we get our office, genealogy testing. We'll be going across the city. Those people who say, you know what, I'm an American freedman. My great grandmother told me about, down south, and
But isn't that? But you got people who have been adopted, people who don't know where
it's not going to be that. It's not.
You
that
know what I'm saying?
difficult.
But those
Yeah.
you have people who don't even know their
the-
lineage, and as this world gets older,
Those
it's
are
like,
anomalies, though. Those are not the majority. The majority of descendants of slavery can trace their ancestors to North Carolina. Look, I knew my great grandmother.
No, I know. I'm saying that the generation now, like I think a certain type of generation, they don't get the grandmoms that sit and talk about
they'll be
the
able to-
family down south. It's like
they have names. They'll be able to trick, and we will deal with that. So that what you're talking about
Is what you
the
all
advocacy of the
Gotcha.
Philadelphia Reparations Coalition. We will deal with the genealogy,
Mm-hmm.
so that people know if they are the qualifying class. If they
and
qualify.
again, if and when the Freedmen bank starts to open, these people can walk up and say, "Hey, I need a house. Hey, my child needs to go to college. Hey, does it work like that?"
Listen, it was something interesting about the Freedmen Bank. If you deposited a dollar, you got $1 in stock. So you are invested. It's more than just a bank. It's more than just money. It's about self-sufficiency.
Right.
So whatever we need to be self-sufficient, the United States government is obligated to come up with the cash. And they don't have to come up with the cash, because Alan Greenspan, the former Fed chair, said that there is no debt that America can't pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the problem. The problem is there's a lot of people that's going to ask, well, what is it's a lot of gray area here, right? It's
gray area.
Okay, a gray area in the tangible.
No,
It
it's
is.
not.
So basically what it sounds like is that someone can just be like, well, we're going to issue these EBT cards of this Freedmen EBT cards, and wherever you want to go to college paid for. You want a house paid for. You don't want to pay no more taxes. This is going to pay your taxes.
By the way, we shouldn't pay taxes.
Okay.
Do you know that we were taxed 1 year out of slavery? we should have this is all part of it.
No, I got you.
It's a badge of slavery for the descendants of slavery to be paying taxes even this day.
This guy, the gentleman said, Anthony said, our Jewish brethren don't have a set amount to their reparations.
Absolutely.
And I get you. I get you. I
what I'm saying, what I'm hearing,
hold on. I just want to get this last one. And then he say freedmen have a unique genetic marker than other blacks, so to speak. Okay, go ahead.
But what I'm hearing and what you're saying, with all due respect,
no, for sure,
it's fear.
Maybe not. What I'm saying is,
I hear in clarity.
Yeah. That's where I'm more with, because I think what will scare people.
Don't matter who's scared. Why are we worrying about who's scared?
All right, cool.
They didn't worry about our ancestors.
No, I got you. No, but I'm not talking about they. I'm talking about they as us, right? So we're always worried about our ancestors, right? And so for me, it's always about the clarity of because we look for a solution, right? And so if the solution is that that freedmen get the benefit, right? Freedmen get the access to what they are entitled to. I'll put it that way, right? Then what is that thing that they are able to get? So
freedom.
Okay. All right.
Freedom.
All right, cool.
That's freedom. When you don't have to worry about where you're going to live, whether your children have to go to all 80 miles away to go to a good school, that's freedom. We are not experiencing what the 39th Congress said we're supposed to experience. And we can't be afraid, or we cannot worry about the feelings of anybody else. If they feel some kind of way, they have to fight for their rights the way our ancestors fought for our rights.
I got you.
And the other thing I want to just say about DEI, because that was a major part of the DEI benefits 69 to 75% white women.
100%.
So again,
a lot of people.
So now DEI, and I hate bringing this brother's name up, but the brother on the other station we talked about last week, he is a DEI proponent. So essentially, he's fighting for white women. So just think about it. I'm just like, this is based on all the data that says white women have benefited from DEI. So why would a person who is supposedly pro-black fight for DEI that benefits white women? I wrote a story about it. Want to hear it? Here it go. He likes snow bunnies. He likes snow bunnies. You don't get it. See, if Umar said it, you would get it. He likes snow bunnies. He's fighting for DEI. Right? He's fighting for DEI that benefits snow bunnies. And he's fighting for snow bunnies, but he's saying he's fighting for black people.
And these are not your words. These are statistics. These are facts that DEI represents.
100%.
The white women, LGBTQ community.
And see, let me tell you about this. Bayard Ruskin. Was it Bayard Ruskin? Who was the gay brother? I think it was Bayard Ruskin. Who he was with Dr. King, and he helped to organize the March on Washington. He was gay, right? He didn't talk about being gay. He talked about his rights as a black American. He was fighting for our rights, not fighting for rights to be gay. You understand what I'm saying? And talking about, look, it's so many contradictions with this DEI stuff. DEI benefits LGBTQ, right? Hey, no shade. I mean, no Diddy, right? No Diddy. But let's just say my man and we got married, right? Say we got married. We would be able to benefit from DEI, but we're not gay though. We just say we gay, and
just to put it on record,
and we get the benefit of DEI.
Right.
How do you? This is why this is bad. It shouldn't be based on. It shouldn't be based on race or whether you're LGBTQ.
Right.
It's based on the status. And again, the 14th Amendment is ours. So it's a non-starter for them to even start talking about it. Right. Anytime anybody else brings themselves on to the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, Civil Rights Act of 1866, it's just like me going and saying I'm a Native American and trying to benefit from them. I can't do it. They can't do it.
I learned more from this this session. Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
You definitely drilled it in.
We
on this
have
one.
to
I
fight
understand
for
more.
our people. I'm risking everything. Me personally, I'm risking everything because I know that I'm right about this. You know, you don't know the problem. It ain't, we all got problems out here. But I know that we're going to win this. And I know that me, the Philadelphia Reparations Coalition, we're going to meet with Donald Trump. We're going to talk to Donald Trump about, we're going to thank him, first of all, for being brave enough to stand up for the progeny of the emancipated. We have to. I don't care if I don't like all the other stuff that he did. He did something specifically for my people that no other president has ever done. That's just like the former slaves. They may not have liked Abraham Lincoln, but how could they tell Abraham Lincoln, you know what, don't sign that 13th Amendment, don't free us? You got to give them credit where the credit is due. Right. And President Trump deserves all the credit to stand up for what's right.
Well, I know you're going to get a lot of pushback from
I
that
get
one
a lot
right
of
there.
pushback. They already calling me Uncle Toms
I'm not
and all that, but I'm rooted in the Constitution. I'm fighting for my people. So all the people who may call me names, are they fighting specifically for the progeny of the emancipated? I think not. So that I'll take every bad name because I know that at the end of the day, if they're a freedman, they're going to be in that line getting that check too.
They got to look up Uncle Tom now.
They don't even know. They don't even. They mean Sambo. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uncle Tom. That was it. And so I think, but no, I appreciate, look, this Bible consciousness. He holding you down. He said, go to their website, my brother. He's talking to me because he's talking as it relates to me truly understanding the information. And I get it. Now, understand for those who are watching, oftentimes, right? I know our audience, and oftentimes there are questions that I know people will be very inquisitive and want to know about, right? More information. So often I put myself in the shoes of our people to ask those questions, right? And it comes by true life experiences in hearing these conversations happening. I hear these conversations all the time, right? I listen to the Tariq Nasheeds, the Umar Johnsons, my brother Bona. He's here in the studio, right? And so the pushback isn't, I don't agree with you. The pushback is more about, well, this is the other side. What is your response to the other side, right? And so I speak in that kind of a position of truly, what is the context? What is the understanding? What are the tangibles? And how can we all not only learn from this, but what we need to understand? Because one is a fool to what they don't know, right? And so if you don't know that you are emancipated under this, you will continuously think that you're called a Negro, right? And identify with that. Because some of our people still do, especially if you're a baby boomer, right? Go ahead. No, go ahead. Yep.
I want to just prove another fact.
Sure.
People say that the 14th Amendment gives you birthright citizenship, but here's the proof that it didn't. In 1924 was when the Native Americans became citizens.
Yeah.
And in 1952, if I'm not mistaken, is when the Asians became citizens.
Yeah.
So the point of the matter is, if the 14th Amendment has universal birthright, why was there a need after that to create one for the Indians and for the
was
Asians?
it because of the Jim Crow laws and
No,
things
it's because they weren't citizens.
Oh, okay.
It proves that they weren't citizens if there had to be subsequent acts or legislation to make that group of people citizens.
Gotcha.
You see, so this is why President Trump is correct, and I think it's the ACLU who's suing them. They're wrong. That's why City Council is wrong. That's why the State Democratic Party is wrong, because they're not rooted into the congressional records, which is facts. It tells you exactly what the legislative intent was in the words of the people who produced the legislation.
Well, there you have it. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So you can't go any deeper than that. That's the bedrock. You can't That's it.
Yeah, no doubt. So we can't. One thing we can't debate are facts. Can't debate facts. Facts are facts, right? And so, someone whom I have a tremendous amount of respect for, who is is the other half of the show, is Lauren Sizzle, who just jumped on to talk a little bit about. We're gonna do a little civics moment. So, how are you, Lauren? How are you? We don't hear you. We don't hear you.
No, can't hear her.
No, we can't hear you.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah. And so go back out. Yep, and come back in. And so just to wrap up this conversation real quick, we had the brother Bowman on right now, Bowman Hagins. He is a friend to the show, and we're just super excited to have him. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this. I'm sure Tariq Nasheed gonna have something to say about this.
Please send it to him, man, because I want him. See, we're unifiers. We're collaborators.
Absolutely.
And we're not hating on nobody, but
Absolutely.
we want our people to have the correct information. And it's unfortunate that we have a lot of people who are miseducated.
Yeah.
And if you're not seen on that screen, if you don't have a big platform, you're looked at as nobody. But I know that what we have is so far more superior than any of that. Not because we're better, it's because we're better researched. We're rooted in the actual law. We're not talking about opinions. We're not dealing with cultural beliefs and all that kind of stuff. And we can deal with that. We can deal with cultural, and spiritual stuff, but that has to stay on this side.
Yeah, no doubt.
When you deal with political and legal, that has to stay separate.
Yeah.
When you mix those two up, you'll never come up with solutions.
No, I got you. Yeah, we always got talking facts. That's the problem. We tend to, but that's the people, right? We tend to change phrases sometimes, and we do our own little kind of.
I got another one for you. I didn't want to say it when the sister was here, but there's no such thing as her story. History did not come from a male perspective. So we have to start dealing with the fact. If you study the etymology, I did an article actually about that. But you look at the etymology of the word history, it didn't come from his, because you can do that. You can figure that out if you look at take history and put it in Spanish.
I think we know it. We understand the etymology. I think it's just tongue in cheek.
I don't think so. Some people are serious. They have people who have books, and what I'm saying is that when you have those books and the titles, and they go and people read it, they tend to assume because they're not going to do the deep dive research.
Right. So we're going to jump in. We're going to jump into that in a little minute because we got
her back.
Lauren Sizzle. We got her back. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, now we can hear you. Give her a round of applause. Now we can hear you. All right. So, first of all, how are you? How was your day?
I'm doing really good. Had some knee problems. This is the issues of getting older. When your body just want to do what it want to do.
Yeah, no doubt. So So thanks for coming on the show. You're home right now, holding it down, doing your work, and so we're excited about that because we're going to do a little civics moment here. And so I'm super excited about you jumping into that, especially as it relates to civics and every voice, every vote. So if you're ready for me.
Yeah. So this civics moment segment is brought to you by Every Voice, Every Vote. I don't know why it's always a tongue twister, but it's the collaborative project of the Linfest Institute for Journalism with lead support provided by the William Penn Foundation. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to www.everyvoice-everyvote.org. And the editorial content is created independently of the project's donors. So shout out to We Talk Weekly. And thank you guys for tuning in. So Pennsylvania State Senator Anthony Williams, along with some other officials, are speaking out after the state made a deal to appoint 9 judges to 10 Pennsylvania counties, none of which include Philadelphia. So Philadelphia's Court of Common Pleas currently has 84 judges, which is a 9-judge deficit from the 93 that they should be operating under. So Senator Williams calls the move an insult since the decision was made without the consultation of the Philadelphia House delegation. So, according to their website, the Philadelphia House delegation is comprised of members from the PA House of Representatives who are committed to working together for the benefits of their constituents in Philadelphia and the citizens of the Commonwealth of Philadelphia. Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, excuse me. So, Section 13B of the Constitution of Pennsylvania states that vacancies in the office of justice, judge, or justice of the peace will be appointed by the governor. So the governor's appointment is made with the advice and consent of 2/3 of the members elected to the Senate. So now we see why Senator Anthony Williams is mad. So he said that this was a deal struck without the members of the Philadelphia delegation saying that they're okay with it. This is an absolute dilution of our Philadelphia delegation's power. For us to not be included is an insult. So, of all the counties of Pennsylvania, Philadelphia has the most judicial vacancies. So, even the Philadelphia Bar Association is calling on Harrisburg to fill these vacancies. So, this is how it causes issues for Philadelphians. So many court cases remain in limbo at the pretrial phase, awaiting some type of disposition. So with judges being understaffed, many cases are backlogged, leaving hundreds of youth and adults, some who are incarcerated, awaiting trial. Many of them have been incarcerated for a long time, and they're still awaiting trial. Another concerning issue encompasses victims being able to receive justice for the crimes committed against them. So just imagine, the longer the cases are extended, the more time it takes for the victims to be able to have some type of closure. So within a few short months, Philadelphians will be back at the ballot boxes for the 2025 primary election on May 20th. So with voter suppression playing a huge factor in previous election outcomes, voters need to be diligently preparing for every single election, no matter what election it is, primary and general. And they have to protect their vote the same way that you would protect your Social Security number. So make sure you check your voter registration frequently to make sure that you are still registered. And college students, you guys can request a mail-in ballot. And depending on when your spring break is, this is something I kind of thought, like if you're going to be home during spring break and you have your mail-in ballot at that time, you can drop it off while you are home so that no one can challenge your vote. So just some important dates that we have coming up for this next election would be the election for May 20th, 2025. Just remember that the last day that you have to register to vote in the municipal primary is going to be May the 5th. The last day to apply for a mail-in ballot is May 13th. And of course, May 20th is going to be election day. So the polls here in Pennsylvania, they're open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. And you have up until 8 p.m. to turn in your completed mail-in ballots. So we'll have more information about that in the weeks to come leading up to election. Like I said, there's going to be so many different things that's going to be on the ballot. We'll have that information for you. Judges are going to be on the ballot, and you know that judges are the ones that are deciding the outcomes of a lot of these cases. So once again, I'm Lauren Sizzle, and this Civics Moment segment is brought to you by Every Voice, Every Vote, which is a collaborative project of the Linfest Institute for Journalism.
Yeah, fantastic. Give you a round of applause for that. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show, man. What a dynamic show. You want to say
I
something?
want to just say one thing.
Go ahead, my brother.
I just want to remind everybody, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't vote, right?
Okay.
But just remind everyone that the Democrats were fighting for people who don't even vote. Illegal immigrants don't vote. So how important can voting be if they are fighting for rights for people who are not legal in this country? So I just wanted to and remember our ancestors got the right to vote before the 15th Amendment. I mean, before they had the right to vote, but they were voting before the 15th Amendment. But we fought to get legislation to vote without voting.
Okay. So
we forced the 15th Amendment.
Right.
We didn't vote at the time.
Right.
We fought to get the right to vote without the right to vote.
So are you saying that we shouldn't be voting?
No,
Is
what
you're
I'm saying is that we should be enforcing our rights. It doesn't matter who gets in office. Your rights stay consistent.
Right. Well, we're talking about voting at this.
I'm
time.
not saying, but what I'm saying, I'm not saying not to vote. I'm saying that if voting is so important, how can people who don't vote get representation from people who were voted into office?
Which is a different context to what she's talking. So we're talking about
this is nonpartisan.
This
is nonpartisan. I'm not talking about partisan. This is This is nonpartisan. I'm saying that it doesn't matter. I'm not saying not to vote because I ran for office.
I was about to say because I was just about to say that
I ran for office
and I voted for you.
But I want to make it clear
that.
though that right now, as an unseated council president, I'm having more effect on government because I'm forcing our rights.
Gotcha.
And I'm not even in office.
No doubt.
So I'm just saying that voting is important, but once you vote, then what do? You vote, and then nobody goes to city council meeting. Nobody reads the bills.
Well, no. Then what we're saying is because this is something that we do when we're talking about voting. We want you to do the work. We want you to do the work. And we vote for you. We vote for our leadership. We want you to do the work, which is the reason why we do have a platform like this, because we're going to hold you accountable.
I want people to vote. I don't want you to get me twisted.
Yeah.
I want people to vote, but voting is not enough. If you just go vote and you're not participating, you might as well don't vote.
Right. Well,
because you're voting just to get somebody in office, but you're not holding them accountable.
So we'll reframe that by saying that let's encourage people to vote because we want them to utilize their voice, and we'll hold those who we voted for accountable. And if we're going to work on that, right? But we're only talking about voting at this. We want you to vote. There we go. And so we want to thank
vote and be civically engaged.
That's it. That's it. Give a round of applause for that. Vote and be civically engaged. I like that. I like to end on that right now. We're going to vote and be civically engaged. What an excellent point. So this is We Talk Weeklies after the talk of WPPM. That's our show, ladies and gentlemen. What a dynamic show. We Talk Weeklies after the talk of WPPM on P Philadelphia 106.5 FM. We Talk Weeklies after the talk with your boy Charles Gregory. The beautiful. You already here. You here. And the beautiful. And my guy,
the 13th Amendment advocate, Obona Higgins.
All right, y'all. We out. What a dynamic show. We'll see you next week. Holla.